Hey, what's going on, good people? Armand Owens here once again with another episode of the Daily Unsung Leader. And we're going into hack number 24. We are almost there, good people. We are almost there. I know it's been a long gap since the last video, but had the pleasure of dropping, my watch brand, over the last couple of weeks. And, that's consumed a lot of my time. So I'm back, gonna hit this final stretch run, really strong, finish out the hacks, and based on some recommendations from you, the listener, I'm gonna take these hacks and convert it into documents that go a little bit deeper into all of the hacks that I'm talking about. Highlighting the stories, the situations that came up that allow me to find these hacks and use these hacks, and give some more of some of the, in some cases, some of the scientific basis, for a lot of these hacks. So that's coming soon. I found somebody to help me, with this process, because that's daunting. That's a daunting thing to take all of that information, and to put it in some form of document that that's easily digestible, easily applied, for you. You can pick and choose which hacks you want to use that work out best for you. But today's hack, it really coincides with the reason why I'm still in the Navy. The reason why I'm still in the Navy. When I first came in the Navy, I only planned on doing my first sea tour and my subsequent shore tour in an effort to attain my degree and to move on to do some things that that I wanted to do in life. And I was right on track with that. Got my degree during shore duty. I didn't obla serve for you submariners out there. So I was right on my path, to getting out. And then the Navy did something that I really wasn't expecting. After 7.5 years worth of service, they decided to make me a chief petty officer. And got to tell you, that was a monumental shift in what I thought I could bring to the table, because I knew that I could add value in terms of leadership, in terms of doing the right thing. But I thought the impact that I could make as a chief petty officer would be amazing. And that's really based on some of the things that I went through early on in my career. And the basis of this hack is very simply honor. Honor. Throughout the first few years of my career, I had leaders I felt provided a safe environment, for me to come to work and be myself. Well, the subsequent 3 years, after that, I had leaders that did not provide a safe environment, for me to come to work. I constantly felt dejected. I constantly felt rejected by my leaders. I constantly felt disrespected, looked at as someone that was lower than, and that feeling, manifested in me overindulging in alcohol, overindulging, in destructive behaviors, because I dreaded every day waking up, having to interface with leaders that I felt, quite frankly, didn't give a crap about me. And, fast forward, I had the honor of being selected for chief petty officer. I felt as though I had a responsibility to try and provide an environment for those that were coming up that not only looked like me, but just were different, that felt dishonored. I felt as though I had a responsibility to do all I could to help those individuals come up in an environment where they were not disrespected and they felt honored. And there's a term, in psychology for this called psychological safety. And when a team feels, psychologically safe, its members share the belief that within the team, they are not going to be exposed to any kind of interpersonal or social threats, to their self or to their identity. Their status or standing, any effects to their career, will not be in jeopardy because they just bring themselves, to work. It's such a freeing feeling to know that you can come to work, feel honored, because in that environment, you can ask questions and not feel as though you're going to get your head bitten off, by your leader. You can feel as though you can admit, hey, I really don't know how to do, this thing, and not feel as though you're going to be shunned and beat down because you admitted you were vulnerable about, something, that you were not knowledgeable about. And think about what happens in an environment like that. Learning is encouraged in an environment like that. Innovation is encouraged in an environment like that, because as you're sharing ideas, the freedom of being able to share ideas without fear of any kind of repercussion just ignites an environment where ideas flow freely, and new innovation, new ideas, can be generated, to solve, some of our hardest problems. Psychological safety. Even Google, in their most recent, survey of their teams, highlight number one, psychological safety as being the largest determining factor of success for each of their teams. Think about that. Just the fact, just being a leader that is willing to honor every person in their team as a person. Because here's what happens, as leaders, we get overcome by events, we get, stressed out, we turn, inward. How is this thing going to affect me? How am I going to be perceived, as things may not be going as well? So instead of looking at people, as people, we start to look at people as objects. We start to look at people as merely vehicles to accomplish what we need them to accomplish. And when they no longer serve our purposes, we throw them to the side. Instead of recognizing that, this person has beliefs, perspectives, and opinions just like I do. This person has hopes, anxieties, and vulnerabilities just like I do. This person wants to feel respected, appreciated, and competent just like I do. This person wishes for joy, wishes for peace, wishes for happiness, just like I do. We have a habit as leaders of dehumanizing the people we have the privilege. Remember this, we have the privilege of leading them. They deserve to be honored. They deserve to be valued. Because if you want to really talk about the end game, which is performance and results, the people who feel honored, the people who feel valued, the people who feel respected and safe are the people that are going to perform the best. Hands down. It's not even debatable. When you have a group of people that are coming to work that do not feel honored, that do not feel safe, that do not feel respected, you're going to have destructive behaviors. You're going to have subpar performance, and the results you get are going to be diminished. It's a fact. It's a fact. And all this takes is you as the leader looking at that individual and recognizing they are significant. Looking at that individual and recognizing they are of supreme value. Looking at that individual and knowing and understanding and interacting with them in a way where you know that they deserve to be honored. Not to be categorized, not to be labeled, but to be looked at and valued individually with their gifts, with their talents, with all the things they bring to the table. And not to be judged just because of their shortcomings, their idiosyncrasies, their faults, all these things, and or their perceived weirdness, they deserve to be honored. We as leaders have to get to a place where we can look at our people not through the lens of fault, not through the lens of mistakes, but through the lens of honor, through the lens of value, and that being coupled without any judgment. Honor your people without judgment. That is the ultimate leadership hack. Because when you treat people like people, you get the performance, you get the results that you're looking for. Because people feel safe to bring their best selves to work. They're not holding anything back. They're not putting on a mask. They're not diminishing themselves. They're bringing all of who they are to the table. And when you get a team of people bringing all that they are to the table, you're going to knock whatever goals, whatever missions you got, you're going to knock it out of the park. This is not theory. This isn't theory. This is proven. So today's leadership hack: honor without judgment. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel, like it, comment. I love the feedback, and like I said, I'll be working on putting all of these hacks in a document for easy consumption. And just like always, hey, I appreciate you. Unsung Leader out.